guys, so today I'm going to be discussing the revival of Gilmore Girls. So if you haven't seen it yet, fair warning, there will definitely 100% be a lot of spoilers in this video, so don't watch it unless you have already watched that. I really loved that we got the opportunity to see where the Gilmore Girls ended up. I think it was awesome and it was so nostalgic for me. I was so excited leading up to it, as you guys know, and sort of in disbelief, you know, when something doesn't feel real because it's so great. That's how I felt about this, and it was so nostalgic watching it again. And it's really weird because I've watched and rewatched the previous 7 seasons over and over and over again for years, and it was amazing to be able to see the same world and the same characters in new scenarios that I hadn't already watched. It was really, really incredible. So I loved it. I felt like crying tears of happiness. It was kind of like when The Cursed Child came out this year and reading the start of that, just that emotion of like something that was new to you in your childhood and you're getting to experience it kind of for the first time again. I think that obviously the vibes of the whole thing were perfect. It was the same settings and the same great music and the same feeling. And I firstly want to say that Lorelai's house was looking beautiful, kind of the same as ever, but just really, really pretty. I liked the writing, of course. The dialogue was great and witty and fast as usual, as expected. There was a lot of great references that are now like up with the times, which was really, really cool. And I was laughing at points and crying at points and laughing and crying at points, and the whole thing was really, really emotional and fantastic. The one part of the like writing, I guess, that I didn't enjoy was the musical. And the Stars Hollow musical, I thought this is a great idea. I liked how they did the kind of throwbacks to, like, you know, Kirk gets to make another film, and there's a couple of dream sequences that Lorelai has because, you know, in previous seasons we've seen her crazy dreams. So it was nice to relive some of those things because it was brief and it was fun. But the Stars Hollow musical, like, I know it was meant to be bad, but usually when something in Gilmore Girls, especially like a stage show or something, was meant to be bad, we'd have Lorelai or Rory or both of them or someone else sitting there making fun of it and having like banter with someone and being like WTF kind of thing. This musical, we didn't have that for. We got to see reactions on people's faces, but that's not really enough. I think we needed Lorelai to be able to have a conversation with someone sitting next to her to express how ridiculous it was and to make fun of it and to be witty about it and that kind of thing. And it just went on for too long with just the musical and just people reacting and everyone loving it except Lorelai. I just don't really get why they focused on that for such a long time. I don't know what it was that they felt they needed to do that for like 10 or 15 minutes or however long it was, but I just thought it was unnecessary and like weird, and one of those things where you're like, okay, that was funny, now it's going to end now, right? And then it doesn't end. And then you keep thinking it's going to end and it doesn't end. I loved how they brought so many characters back. There were a lot that I was expecting, obviously, from the actors having been active on social media about it and that kind of thing. But then there were some that I hadn't really thought about until they happened. And then I was like, I'm so glad that person came back. Like, Francie was one of those. I totally didn't expect to see her. But that was really, really satisfying. I love that. And yeah, so many amazing appearances. I can't even go through them all. I think it was great that we got to finally see Lane's dad, because that was one of those things where for the whole 7 seasons he was kind of a mystery. We never got to see him. We never really knew what happened with Mrs. Kim and him, whether they were together or what the situation was. But it was nice to see that he kind of was in the picture, just maybe not around very often or something. I like how much of a focus there was on Michelle's character. I like that they gave him a partner finally, and I like that they were kind of like open about him being gay, because that was never something that had been mentioned in the previous seasons, and a lot of fans had obviously speculated, but I think it was great that they were open about it, and I guess that shows how far we've come in the last 10 years as a society, maybe. I think all the tribute stuff to Richard was really, really amazing. It was so emotional. I cried through a lot of that, and I think it was done really respectfully and really realistically as well. And I love how much character development Emily got to have. I loved Emily's storyline. I thought it was incredible, and the whole thing with the maid and the maid's family, I thought that was so nice. That was something that Emily really needed in her life, like these people that genuinely care about her and that she in turn genuinely cares about them. And even though they're bringing like all their family around and stuff, it kind of became like her second family as well, and I thought that was really, really nice and something that I kind of hadn't known that I wanted until it happened. I wasn't expecting Emily to develop so much as a character. I thought she would just be the same old, but obviously getting to this point in her life where she's lost her husband and she's getting older, I think it was nice that she had so much change going on in her life. I think that was great. I love Paris. I loved seeing her as an adult. It was amazing. She was just as intense as she ever was, which was really authentic to her character, but really strong, obviously really successful, which was awesome. Sure, things with Doyle weren't working out, but it kind of made sense. Like, it wasn't necessarily out of character for either of them where they were ending up. And I loved that they have kids. It was really cute. And it's kind of what you'd expect from Paris. You don't expect her to be like super mom. Her character was just super realistic. And it was very apparent to me because I haven't watched whatever TV show she's been in. I can't remember it because I haven't seen it yet. I want to now because obviously she's developed a lot as an actress as well. And yeah, I just think she was fantastic. It was amazing. I loved seeing Paris again. I love seeing Lane's band still going as well, even with their 2 kids sitting in the background, and they must think their parents are so lame, but I thought that was awesome. It was so cute. Ugh, I love them. Lorelai's story was really satisfying as well. I love her and Luke, obviously, so it was really satisfying to see them together and to get their kind of wedding that they always wanted. And yeah, I thought the thing of Lorelai going off into the wild was a little bit random and weird until she was standing there and had that epiphany and called her mum and fixed that, and then went home and fixed stuff with Luke, and I just thought it worked out really well. The only thing I didn't like with them was at their wedding how they eloped in the end. I felt like it should have just been them and Rory, because if they were going to start inviting extra people like they did, it was like weird, the choices of people that they invited. So they should have just left that out and just had it with Rory. I think it just made it spur of the moment. Like, Rory was at home, so they took her, but everyone else would just get the party the next day. That would have been fine. I just felt it was kind of weird that Lane and Michelle were there. Was there anyone else? I think it was just those 2, but I don't know. Like, yes, those people are close to them, and Lane obviously is close to both Lorelai and Luke. Luke was really there for her when she was working at the diner, so I could understand that, but then I feel like, well, I guess Zach was looking after their kids, so that kind of makes sense, but yeah. And Michelle being there for Lorelai was nice too, but it's just the kind of thing where I feel like they would have invited those people to the wedding, but why invite them to the elopement? I don't know, because then why didn't Luke call up Jess? If they could call up Michelle and Lane, why couldn't he call up Jess and get Jess to be there? Or April, for that matter, his daughter. I don't know, it just seemed a little bit weird. So I wish they had just left the elopement with just Rory. I thought that would have been nice. Aside from that though, love the Luke and Lorelai storyline. It was perfect and kind of what I'd always wanted for them. Moving on though to the one thing that I really didn't like about this, and was kind of pretty disappointing to be honest, it felt really tragic, was Rory's storyline. And I think it just wasn't anything like what I expected, and it wasn't just that it was different than what I expected, because I could have coped with different. Like, I wasn't expecting her to end up with who I wanted her to end up with, or to end up with the job that I wanted her to get, or anything like that. It was just so, like, depressingly different to what I think she kind of deserved. Like, I get that the career stuff, she doesn't necessarily need to end up with a dream job, because that's not realistic. I didn't expect her to get a job at the New Yorker or to be running a magazine or something like that. I just wanted her to have like a somewhat decent job. They could have made jokes about her earning very little, being a journalist for like a small-time newspaper or something, or having a blog or something, I don't know. But to have her struggling to find work still 10 years after she went through that whole thing, and she ended up on the Barack Obama campaign obviously, but it was just like that struggle to find a job all over again that she first had when she was finishing college. And I know that's realistic for some people, but I would have liked to have seen her get something. And when she was starting to work for the Stars Hollow Gazette as the editor, I thought, okay, here we go. It's not her dream job, because she's ended up just back in small-time Stars Hollow with this like community newspaper. But I thought she could have done something really amazing with that and just kept it going and just put her like spirit into it, because she loved the town so much and she loved writing. So it was kind of the perfect combination, I thought. But it was kind of depressing that they didn't really let her have that. It was like, here's this great opportunity, now you're gonna suck at it and no one's gonna listen to you. So I don't know, that was disappointing, because she had enough disappointments in other career aspects. Like, why not just give her one that was going kind of okay, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's that. And the whole writing the book thing, like, I get it, you're tying in telling Gilmore Girls like the story. Yeah, I just wanted more for her, I guess. And then the relationship stuff was really bad. The whole thing with her and Logan, them having this relationship together that was like friends with benefits, and Logan's engaged and Rory's got this boyfriend that she always forgets about, which was funny at first, but that went on for way too long. I just think that after the thing with Rory and Dean, surely she would have, like, that ended so colossally terribly that I don't think she would have made that same mistake again. And I know, again, like, this is something that people do in real life, but it is gross. And I would like to think that Rory had matured enough after that whole thing with Dean to not do that again and to not end up in that situation. And why couldn't we just have her be single, or have her be with someone else? Like, I know people wanted her to end up with someone in particular, as did I, but I just think that why couldn't we just have her end up with some random guy that we didn't know and have them be happy together? Why bring in the whole cheating with Logan thing? I don't know. I would have really liked if they'd just been friends. Like, when we first saw her in London staying with Logan, I thought, okay, maybe they're going to be friends and they'll just be chilling together, like, you know, old buddies, and just living each their own lives. But when it was more than that, I was really kind of disappointed. I did like that we got to see Dean, and it sounds like Dean got his happy ending with a wife and children, which I thought was really, really nice. And it's nice that he could interact with Rory as friends. So I'm happy for Dean. That's what I wanted out of his reappearance in the show. I think that was really, really nice. In regards to Jess, I've always been team Jess. I really, really, really wanted Rory to end up with Jess. I kind of didn't expect it though, because I just thought, been there, done that. I didn't think they were going to put her back with any of their ex-boyfriends. But yeah, I feel like Jess's role in the show was kind of the exact same role that he had when she was dropped out of Yale, and he says, like, what are you doing? You know, why don't you go back to school, blah, blah, blah. I feel like he had the exact same role again, as just being like her voice of reason. So it's kind of just repeating that storyline, which is like, can't we just move on from that? I think they implied that Jess and Rory will end up together, or at least that he still has feelings for her, by that scene when he's looking at her through the window, and it's obvious that he's still into her. I think in my heart I'm gonna believe that they end up together. When they were gonna leave that ambiguous, like, so that happened, and then Lorelai and Luke were getting married, I thought it was going to end there, and I didn't know what the last 4 words were going to be, but I didn't think they would be necessarily significant. I thought it would be like, I love you, mum, or something like that, just something like nice to like end it off, and then, you know, their lives move on from there, and who knows what happens. But to end it with, mum, yeah, I'm pregnant, super disappointing. That's like honestly the worst possible imaginable ending. So we're assuming it's Logan's baby, which basically gives Rory the exact same storyline as her mother, except that she's 32 instead of 16. Yeah, I'm just super sad for Rory, and I'm sad for Lorelai too, because as much as Rory's older, like, yes, she's 32, but I still didn't want single motherhood for her. Obviously it worked out fine for Lorelai, but it's a different situation, and I don't think it's something that Rory wanted either. She'd had her chance to be with Logan properly when he proposed like years ago, and she said no. So to end up with her getting pregnant to this guy that's like going to be married to someone else very shortly is just really, really sad and unnecessary, I think. And I don't understand why they wanted the show to go that full circle to that extreme. And I don't really understand the message, because the whole show was focused on Lorelai wanting to create a better life for Rory, and doing that quite successfully. Like, Rory had a great life. So I don't understand why they decided to end it that way. I really, really, really don't get it, and I really, really, really don't like it. And I just don't get it at all. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that maybe they're doing a spin-off of some kind. You know how Rory's writing the book Gilmore Girls? I feel like maybe it will be a book and we'll hear from Rory's perspective. Maybe it will go into her having a kid and being a single mum as well. But I don't know. I kind of don't feel like they'll do that. I don't think they'll continue on necessarily. So to end it like that, assuming that they're not going to continue on at all, is really, really dissatisfying. I didn't want a perfect ending where she ended up with Jess necessarily like I wanted, or if she ended up, you know, with a perfect job at the New Yorker being amazing or something. I just wanted her to be just living her life with her mum and just leave it open to, like, in the future, who knows what'll happen. Like, why do we have to make it full circle like that? I don't, yeah. But aside from that, it was amazing. I just loved seeing all of these characters that I love so much again in new situations and just continuing their lives. And for most of them, I was really, really happy with where they ended up. It was just really nice to like visit them again, kind of thing. So aside from the whole Rory thing, I loved it, and I'm definitely going to be rewatching it over and over again. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on the whole Rory situation. I'd love to know if anyone actually liked her storyline, because I kind of can't imagine it. And I know a lot of people didn't like Rory from the previous seasons because of the way she was kind of like entitled to stuff sometimes and kind of always got her way. Although, you know, that wasn't necessarily the case towards the final seasons when she was in college and stuff. It didn't work out great a lot of the time. But I just think it was real sad that it was all so bad for her in the season. I think it was terrible. So I'd love to know if you disagree and if you liked her story, or if you just don't care or something. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's really long, but I had a lot to say because this meant a lot to me, and I was really glad that we got to see it. So thank you guys for watching this, and I'll see you with my next video in a couple of days. Bye.